video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X, whatever you like to call it. I have these trading cards, which are inspired by the game, and we're just going to go over some of them. I'll tell you a bit of information to the best of my ability. I've played the game through 3 times in my life. I've never 100%ed it though, because if you've played any of the Final Fantasy games, you'll know that they can be a bit tedious. They're a labor of love. I've gotten most of the celestial weapons, and I've beat a couple of the Dark Aeons, but I never did like the Mega Boss, and I could never dodge the 200 lightning bolts and the Chocobo race. I did it once in one of the playthroughs, and then I could never do it again, so I just stopped trying. But anyways, if you would like to go through these cards and hear me nerd out about my favorite game of all time, then just keep watching. Probably looking at it and noticing that I opened it up like a banshee. When they sent it to me, they taped it all weird, and I couldn't control my excitement, so I just got into it. So, upon opening it, if you're a fan of the game, I can talk about everything. This is from the scene with Yuna and Tidus when they're in Makalania Woods, and they're in the water and they have a romantic moment. I wanted to say beforehand, so no one calls me out, I know his name is pronounced Tidus. I just don't care. I don't like that. Tidus, he's with the water tides. I believe this set also has cards that go back to other games, and I believe X-2, 10 Part 2, which is a bit controversial amongst Final Fantasy X fans. I personally love it, but I could see how it's not for everyone. So you get a pamphlet. This shows you if you want to actually play with the cards. It'll show you what to do. So you get 2 of those. Pretty. So it comes with 2 stacks. And I believe, is it Magic the Gathering? I think Magic the Gathering came out with Final Fantasy cards recently too. I could be wrong. And I do want those as well. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm probably just going to pick out my favorite ones that talk about my favorite scenes. Okay? But we'll start with the first one because I can explain this one pretty well. First up, we have the Jecht card. Jecht is Tidus's father. He is Yuna's dad's guardian. And Jecht eventually becomes Zen because he becomes the final Aeon. If you've never played the game, everything I'm saying is gonna sound like gibberish, but play the game. Jecht is not the best father. He calls his son a crybaby a lot. Not my favorite character by any means, but he pulls the story along, and yeah, you don't really see much of him. His scenes are mostly just flashbacks. Our next card, we have Braska. Lord Braska was Yuna's dad. Yuna is the summoner that you play with in Final Fantasy X. Her dad was previously a summoner. He brought the calm. He did pass away. I'm not ruining anything. The game's like 20 years old. It's old. I would love if they did like a prequel game with Braska and Jecht and Auron, but I will probably never get that, and I'm okay with that. Ooh. Okay, it's kind of confusing. This card, this is Paine. Paine is from 10 Part 2, X-2. And she's in the Gull Wings with Yuna and Rikku. This is not part of the main story. Paine, I think they could have fleshed out a bit more. I liked her character, but she kind of just felt like a replacement for Lulu. You get to know a little bit about her, but with it being a continuation of a story, it's kind of hard to introduce a new character. She has really fun outfits, and in X2 they have dress spheres, and that's how you change like your class, your job. This is my girl, one of my favorite characters. We have Rikku, and she's in both X and X2. She is Yuna's cousin. She is an Bhed, and in 10 the Bhed are like the castaways. People are mean to them because they still use machina. People are racist towards them, basically. But the Bhed, they're good people. They're not bad. I really don't want to ruin too much, but like I said, the game is really old. In the main story, at least for me that I get from Axis, it's so many things wrapped into one. It's a story about how absolute power and not questioning anything, religion, how it can corrupt things. There's a love story. There's like coming of age, responsibility, fate, things like that. I really wish I could be like a scholar about the game. So this is Yuna. Yuna is my all-time favorite character in all the Final Fantasy games. I think she is extremely well fleshed out, her character. You feel like you know her. This is from X2. So this is the songstress dress sphere. She is singing in this. This is, I believe, like right at the very beginning, which if you don't like X2, most people, it's because the opening scene, it was a lot of fan service, I guess you could say. They knew people of 10, and I think they just wanted to play into that. And J-pop was very big. It's still big, but so some people didn't like how girly and kind of poppy the X2 started off, when 10 was such a downer and very deep. But if you played past, I would say like a few of the missions, it quickly devolves into sadness and bad things do happen. So they're only happy for a little while. The man of the hour, this is Tidus. Tidus. I'm not calling him that, but Tidus is your main character that you play with. In 10, you play with all your characters, but you walk around with Tidus. Yuna is also like a main character. I would say Tidus and Yuna both, but it's more so Tidus's story in 10 and Yuna in 10 Part 2. Yuna and Tidus are lovers. He's a blitzball player from Xanarkand, and he's brought like 1,000 years into the future to defeat Sin. In my unpopular opinion, or popular, never really asked anyone, throughout the game you get Aeons that you can summon, and they have all different types of elements: fire, ice, what have you, lightning. But one that I noticed was missing was water. You don't really get a water Aeon. Shiva's ice, you could argue water, whatever. But my opinion is that Tidus is the water Aeon. We got another Jecht card. We're not going to focus on Jecht. Cry baby. I'm going to say this about everybody. Everybody in 10 is my favorite character. This is Auron. Auron was Yuna's dad's guardian as well. Lord Braska. And he ends up becoming Yuna's guardian as well. He brings Tidus from the past to the future. He's like Tidus's uncle, but not really. He just watches over him. And Auron is a badass. I love Auron. He's your tank in the game. He's extremely strong. One of my favorite characters. Auron has some of the, I think, hardest hitting lines in the game. It's so much more than a game to me. It's like a cinematic experience. If you've played it, you'll know that the cutscenes are crazy. The opening cutscene of 10 is my favorite of all time. It had no business going that hard. Then we have my girl. You can't tell in this one, but this is Lulu, and she usually has the tatas out. She's like the Dommy Mommy character. God, sexy. She's your black mage. This is whose celestial weapon I have never gotten. I won't. I can't. To get hers, you have to dodge lightning 200 times in a row. You can't miss. And there's no real way to gauge it. It takes forever. I know about the crater trick. I just can't do it. But Lulu was originally with Chapu, who was a crusader. She ends up getting with his brother and they have a baby. Now this is a Tidus card, but it has Tidus and Yuna. You can see she's pretty upset here. This is when they're in Makalania Woods. This is when they have their romantic moment, because it's kind of a what they won't they kind of thing. But they're young lovers, and basically the game's old. I'm gonna ruin it. Yuna is destined to die. The summoners, to bring the calm and to have Sen go away for a few years, they have to basically self-sacrifice. So this is them. They're towards the end of the journey, and they're realizing that they can't be together, but they have a moment. It's one of my favorite scenes in the game as well. My lock screen on my phone, it's not her crying, it's when they're in a happier moment in this scene. This is Sen. Looks like a whale kind of figure. And this is the villain kind of the game. It's not the main villain. You have several throughout. The one who's the actual big bad guy, but you don't figure out it's him until very late in. But this is who Jecht turns into. The guardian who becomes the final Aeon ends up becoming Sen. And if this is not making any sense, I have played the game 3 times. I still miss things. I might not be explaining it perfectly or right. So if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. I like to learn. I have a Yuna card. This is what she looks like in 10. The white dress and everything. In 10-2, she kind of does an homage to Tidus with some of her like outfit choices. But this is what she looks like in 10. She's your white mage. Yuna is the most powerful character to me. At least when I play, I like to have Yuna in my party. Once you get through the sphere grid, Yuna's crazy overpowered, and she has Aeons, so Yuna is a bad bitch. 2-time world savior and pop princess. We have Lulu again, but like cartoony. Let's see. Paine. I already told you about Paine. Okay. Not my favorite character. I would say I don't like how they did this character. This is Brother, and Brother is Riku's brother. He's good if you play Blitzball. I don't like to play Blitzball. I know that's awful. I don't know. But if you do play Blitzball, he's a great character to have. He is Yuna's cousin. That does not stop him from thirsting after her. And X-2, he is so annoying. Not a big character, but he's there just enough to be annoying. You guys will have to let me know if you like this video. I can talk about other Final Fantasy games. I have some memorabilia as well, collector's items, if you guys would like to see that. I know it's kind of niche to be still stuck on a 20-something-year-old game, but if you've played it, you'll know how good it is. And I'm always like looking for something that gives me that satisfaction. And I've had games get close, but it's never quite as good. We have another Auron card. Auron, besides Tidus, is the first character you meet. We've discussed Auron. Spoiler alert, Auron, you know what? I won't do that one. I don't want to say it, even though I've said too much already. This is another Rikku card I should have mentioned. And the other card, that was her outfit in X-2. In 10, she looks more like this. Less cartoony. But this is her fit in 10. You can't change outfits in 10. Their classes are already set, and I'm trying to remember how many we got. You have Yuna, Tidus, Auron, Kimahri, Wakka, Rikku, and Lulu. So like 7. I think I named everyone. But if you play it, you do want to switch out and try to get, experience for each of them to level them. This is a Wakka Flocka Flame. Wakka's an interesting character. He's fun. He's funny. Wakka's downfall is he's a racist. So he hates the Bhed, and they let you know that throughout the game. But then he realizes the error of his ways, and he changes around because he realizes he's wrong. He basically grew up very religious, and he was taught that certain things are bad and certain people are bad. But throughout the journey, throughout Yuna's pilgrimage, he finds out a lot of what he's taught is wrong, and he's been being lied to. We have a bit of character development with Wakka, and like I said, he ends up getting with Lulu, but you don't really know that until X-2. He's someone who gets really close with Tidus. All the characters tend to get close with each other, but he really takes him under his wing, and he is a Blitzball player, so they bond over that. Kimahri is unfairly hated on in the Final Fantasy X community. Not so much the character, but his gameplay. Kimahri is... I like Kimahri, but he basically just becomes a second copy of whoever you choose to have him go down their sphere grid. It's kind of hard to explain. He has an ability that basically mimics, while Auron is the tank, Rikku can mix things, steal. She's like the thief. An alchemist. Yuna's your white mage. Lulu's your black mage. Tidus is good for speed, and Wakka's good for distance or hitting things in the air. Kimahri, he gets a bit lost in the mix, but his story is awesome. He's the strong silent type, and I just love Kimahri. He's one of the Rons, so he does not have a full horn, so they kind of shun him, and he's a bit smaller than them, but he ends up becoming their leader. This is going to be way too hard to explain, but I'm going to try. This is Lenne. Now, you may be looking at Lenne and thinking, she looks like Yuna. She is not Yuna. Lenne and, oh my gosh, what was his name? Basically, Yuna and Tidus have doppelgangers. Shuyan. Okay, Lenne and Shuyan are Yuna and Tidus's doppelgangers from the past. And Lenne, she's the one who basically makes the songstress dress sphere. They were star-crossed lovers, just like Yuna and Tidus. Wouldn't say they had similar fates, but they both were fighting against things to be together. 10 part 2 is nowhere near as good as 10. Still fun, but I don't know. 10 is just so deep. It's so good. The gameplay of 10-2 is really fun though. Like the different dress spheres. They got me with that. I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. If you like this video, I will definitely do more Final Fantasy content. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.